Happy Church Day, America! This is Finn. Welcome back for a new episode of the Finnanigans show. Pray God, but keep swimming towards the shore. We all know this expression that means so much. I was traveling to Europe lately and I was stunned to see how pessimistic and conspirationist people are, complaining all the time. So I tell them, if you're not happy with the government, go work in the government and make a difference. And they're like, it's impossible, it's reserved for this. Every time you try to bring a solution, it's always impossible, it's always, the fault of the government. So what we do here at NEWSMAX is actually we infiltrate those parties, we infiltrate those governments, and we're trying to expand the people's minds and restore bridges between cultures, between people, political parties, and religion. This is why we love America so much, and all the mentorship, leadership, energy that there is in this country, where you believe that everything is possible, and people are not welcome right away. You have to put some efforts and discipline and diligence into your work, but this is still the culture where people tell you that everything is possible. And believing is creating, let's say. As far as I'm concerned, my love for America's green energy revolution was so great that I got promoted to the Weather Channel by the Pentagon. So welcome to the greatest, wildest, and pure souls you'll ever find on this planet. Ladies and gentlemen, we have found a real alien, not AI, a godlike being who masters energy work, the art of life, rainbows, and thunder. When you meet him, legends say, the world will shake, and the sword of Excalibur, locked in the heart of the ocean, will be freed. Shades of blues and angelic clouds will be illuminated by the waters and the thunders that he masters. How beautiful is that, guys? Literally, we could put... So this is what this man did. This guy right there took that sword from the heart of the ocean, removed it, and generated an entire earthquake in the world. I'm joking, of course. It's so funny because you could put pictures and evidence in front of people's eyes and they would still tell you you're insane. But let's look at our Christian religion right now. People would believe legit that a man was resuscitated 3 days after being assassinated publicly. But everything else is blasphemy. Like, only Jesus was able to accomplish these divine-like powers, and this is why the world is suffering. Listen, I want to go back to this whole religion thing. So people would legit believe that a man resuscitated 3 days after being assassinated publicly. But they won't believe when you show them pictures and evidences of magical events, paranormal activity, They would believe it if it comes from the government, but when friends tell them that, they're obviously the crazy friend. So, the religion, I think, was written by humans. Jesus existed. I want to get back on that because I received a lot of questions, about what is the place of all this esoteric knowledge in a Christian society in America. In fact, the religion itself have used a lot of these symbols, a lot of these concepts to program religions, to program communities. For me, what bothers me with Christianity and the cross and the story of Jesus, first off, it's a public murder that's been glorified and accepted throughout history. For me, this is just... But they accepted it like it's something good. The suffering of Jesus. He died for our sins. The forgiveness and stuff. Honestly, this is such bullshit. I'm sorry, guys, but to me, this is just humanity justifying or canceling out their guilt or justifying cowardice of not being able to save someone, or just watching the suffering or glorifying that that is okay, that something like this would happen, and that is because of that. It's happening again. Just look at what's going on in Israel, in Palestine. There you have people being killed, and the world is not doing anything. And then they're going to write history book and say, oh, the Nazi genocide was horrible. Hitler was so bad. The heroes who came and saved them. Oh yeah, the resistance who, when it hit the Jews, the resistance who did not cooperate with the Nazis and everything. Oh, now they're heroes, but at the time they were traitors, you know? So history has a funny way to give you a lot of lessons about life, and a lot of preaching about life and the right thing to do, and to just not do that. So that's just unbelievable. And so this has become general practice, that you have to suffer to make it through success. You have to suffer if you win a Nobel Prize. Like if she gets a job, she's not gonna get the Nobel Prize. If she gets money, no, you win things on pity nowadays. You have to be a victimization, or drama. You can't just say, skills and merit. She's getting a job because she gets the skill. She's getting a Nobel Prize because the merit, or Nobel Peace Prize. They're not going to win the Nobel Peace Prize because of some sort of blackmail, but because America is the only country right now who is helping the entire world. In fact, my religion is excellence. Like you can tell, I love excellence. I love intelligence. I love like the Thunderbirds, the, like high technology, the journalists who are on TV, making all these amazing programs. And, I'm a fan of people who channel their divine powers. And this is very different than like hating humanity all day and just loving God. Okay, but God created us to be at his image, not to just preach on some sort of miracle that never shows up. And when he does, people don't believe it. That's crazy. So wow. And they say, I believe, like some religions, like I'm really not an expert, but some religions would say that Jesus would come back. Jesus is coming back. And in fact, when he does, they're expecting some sort of like guys who come out all white and raise blind and raise and shines, but it could actually be someone that you see every day and that is accomplishing all these miracles right in front of your eyes. But it has become, with all the sci-fi and the things that we see, it has become kind of blending into the fabric of society. And this is great. This is how you transfer all these divine gifts to other people, by making it become normalcy. In Gaza, there is also this guy, this Amen, who I believe he's also the reincarnation of Jesus, and is a journalist every day showing what's going on in Gaza. He's not an official journalist, but he's showing what's going on in Gaza. And the world is still saying it's okay to go and kill them, and in a few words they're gonna be like, oh, Jesus was there, and they said that, it was okay because his name was not Jesus. Like, I don't know, it's just reincarnation makes so much more sense, knowing that you never know who's in front of you. You never know. You could have, it's like the Beauty and the Beast. You have the grandma that comes and knocks at the door and looking for help, and they disregard her, and then she curses them. Just like you have to respect every single person who's in front of you. You never know who you're talking to, So yeah, don't trust too easily, but also see the miracle when it exists. So one day I had a dream I was in England. I was 23 years old, and I dreamt about Jesus, which is so weird because I never really had. I was not into connection, spiritual things, or channeling, or anything like that at the time. I was in a weekend going to bars, getting drunk in London, like every young people would do. But I was a nanny there, so in the weekdays I was, serious and taking care of the kids at home and everything. And one night I dreamt about Jesus, and Jesus came and talked to me, and he said, I would always remember because he shocked me. And he said, the Bible is the biggest scam of humanity. And I will always remember, and I was like, but why? And they say, because it's been written by humans to condition and program humans to think a certain way, to accept exactly those terms that I just told you about. The public, inaction, public inaction. That is just something that has been indoctrinated through ages. Public inaction. And you see it happening over and over. People don't even realize it. They think that's normal. So yeah, you don't have to suffer to get success. You should work hard and be successful. And before I came to America, I was so successful. I was young. I left with my master's degree. I went to Peru. I was a teacher there at the French school. Then I came back. I got accepted to my master's degree right away. Then I got my master's degree. I got hired right away at the Alliance Française au Bahrain. I did a 6-month internship as cultural coordinator. Then I was hired right away as the cultural director. And I was teaching also. I was working with embassies. I was doing conferences in auditorium in front of ambassadors and all of that, because they trusted me. That was my boss. Was so empowering. He was delegating everything. All he was doing was drinking coffee with the clients all day, which was actually great. He was the face, of the Alliance Française, and he was welcoming every customer, every student, everyone like they're part of the family. So he would take them, come in, look at our library, hey, get some coffee, and he would talk about our classes. This is our classes, these are the events we're doing. I remember laughing with my coworkers because I was here on my computer doing like the posters and all the programs, newsletters, the budget things, everything. And I was like, bro, I want his job. I want to be drinking coffee all day. But at the same time, you have to go through the phase where you're building all the foundation, right? So someone can promote it. And he's the first marketer that I've worked with. He was delegating everything. Like I said, he was letting us do all the work, and all he was doing was marketing. He was calling the people one by one. Hey, we have an event, the ambassador, the consulate, blah, blah, blah. We have an event this Saturday. I want you to be there, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be awesome. And at the time, I was like, man, this guy is just talking to people all day and drinking coffee. And then I realized this is what makes people come. His availability, his kindness, his way that he's talking, his connection to people, right? So we're the little bees here making all the tangible work, right? But if you don't market it, nobody will come. And that's why then I came to America, and my mentor, Dean Graciosi, reminded me a lot about him because they were entrusting me. They were empowering me to do the things, even though, maybe at the time, he didn't know if I would be able to speak in front of an auditorium, in front of everyone. It was like, okay, you're going to do a presentation about this music group, about this concert, about this theater play, blah, blah, about the history of France in the 19th century. I was like, okay, no problem. And I was confident, actually. I did it. I never was scared. I spoke really well, did amazing. We organized theater plays with the students. Lots of cool stuff. But because he trusted us, it was like, yeah, you can do that. You can do that. Go do it. He wasn't after me every 5 seconds looking now. Oh my God. The restaurant where I work right now, like they think we're 2 years old. They're after us every minute. Why are you holding this kitchen towel? Like, bro, I'm like 40 years old. Okay? Like, don't be after me. That's crazy. So trust people and they will give the best of themselves. That's really what I've learned. And these are the networks that work, the people who trust and who empower and who give the opportunities for people to shine. If you keep people low, then they complain. Oh, look, she looks like shit. She's not wearing a jacket. Oh, she's not wearing makeup. Or she can't speak, in front of a public. Yeah, I don't have a public. I've been speaking to my phone for 10 years by myself. So you want to keep people low, then you get low quality. And then you want to give people a chance to, shine, and they will. So that's the thing, guys. And by the way, my spots on my thing, my skin is not that bad. It's just my camera. My camera is not really putting me to my advantage. Every single little tiny spot, it just highlights it every time. I'm not as disgusting as the pictures look. This is my tattoo from Egypt. Actually, you see I have like a pyramid right here. And I was in front of the pyramid watching a conference in Egypt in 2022. And that day, I found some sunscreen on the floor and I just put some a little bit like this. Remember, in the middle of my forehead. I didn't do it really well. I was just watching. I was like, okay, a little bit of thing. And that day, I got sunburned real bad, like all around the sunscreen. And, they're kind of like my Egyptian tattoo. So I don't really mind it. Then I went to do some laser to remove the spots. And it was even worse. Like the guy did, okay, we're gonna do a test. He did 2 spots of laser right here. Like, we're gonna do a test to see how your skin reacts to it. But don't go in the sun, okay? I was like, of course not. I go in the sun all the time. But like a dummy, I went in the sun. And then it was even worse. Then I had a smiley on my face. Just excited to be with y'all. So now we have a special guest. Her name is Fanny Menardi, and she is here to introduce our new book, the Pachamama Art Encyclopedia. So her first book that she's going to introduce is about symbols around the world, and she later then wrote a newer book, which is about the implementation of those esoteric symbols, cultural symbols, religious symbols. So it's very interesting. Hey, Fanny. Hey, Finn. Yes, thank you for inviting me to present my book today at the Finnanigans show. Actually, this is not the newest book. This is the older version that I have printed. The new one is only available digitally. But let me tell you a little bit of the story. So this is Volume 1 of the Pachamama Art Encyclopedia that I initially wrote for the United Nations. It didn't work out because, you always have like a 3 weeks deadline to write something or do a job. But then the payment deadline is like a decade. They don't care, take it easy. You can lose everything. No problem. As long as the job is being done, the government is happy. So let me tell you the story. So I ended up doing it alone. So this is a new covered book, never published, but let me tell you, this forbidden book is amazing. So I always love to travel, go around the world, discover new cultures, and when I went, I was somewhat attracted to all the sacred sites in the world. I went to Stonehenge in England, I went to Thailand, to Angkor Wat in Cambodia, all the Khmer temples that now archaeologists are finding, symbols that are similar from one culture to another, even though they were completely apart in different regions of the world or even in timelines. So this is kind of intriguing, that they were using this type of communication that in fact Now we know we're not just communication symbols, but tools for technology, for gateways to communicate between other civilizations, whether they're on Earth or different eras. And the place that touched me the most is when I went to Peru in 2010. I went there many times. I've lived there for 2 years. I went to Machu Picchu 4 times. And I went to the Temple of the Sun at the observatory. And I put my hands like this on this magnetic rock. And after that, I started having crazy experiences. Like I would enter a room and light bulbs would blow up, computers would shut down, like crazy things that my friends wouldn't believe me. They'd tell me I'm crazy, I need to go to mental institute, you know? But anyways, I really developed my connection with Pachamama. I was there, the environment was talking to me, like the wind, I would hear things in the wind, I would see faces in the mountains, I would have like voices guiding me, you know. This is when I understood that you're never really alone. And maybe some people would call that, you know, God, but maybe angels, or just literally people who take ayahuasca, which I've never done because I'm already born high. But they say that they see different dimensions and levels of life where everything is alive. The plants are alive, the animals, they have a consciousness, the plants and everything. I've actually had a flower talk to me before, as crazy as it sounds. It's kind of weird experiences, but the thing is, you would put it, evidence it in front of people's eyes with pictures as evidence, and they would still tell you you're crazy. So I came back to America after being, you know, really connected to nature and feeling really empowered, and everything would open up in my journey. And I was seeing the riots in Peru, people, you know, the mining companies polluting the environment, the killing, the genocides in the jungle, the deforestation, illegal deforestation, all this stuff that I knew that where is the problem coming from? The nest is the industrialization. Who comes here and, you know, spoils the land so they can take the resources back home? It's America. So when I went to America, and my husband at the time was American, he was in the Navy, it was a great opportunity for me to enter, you know, the nest of industrialization in the world, and maybe alter consciousness a little bit, bring new perspectives. So that's what I did, but I didn't find a proper job to do this from within an organization. But I started painting those symbols that I've seen all around the world. The flower of life, the Taurus. So the flower of life and the Taurus, sacred geometry symbols that are now proven scientifically for having higher frequencies, you know, and those frequencies, they can program your DNA, they can program the flow of your blood or the water in your body. All these things that Nassim Haramein is working on with the art crystal, for example. Actually, I should be wearing it right now to show you. So yeah, I started painting, and then painting those symbols. So now I'm going to show you a little bit of the artwork. And then as I was looking for new symbols on the internet, I would look for a Celtic symbol or Viking symbol, or, you know, African symbols. I have pages here, for example. See your African symbols, for example. And so I wanted to buy a book about symbols. I looked for encyclopedia about symbols, and I realized it didn't exist. There was no world encyclopedia about symbols, which is so symbolic of people's relationship with religions, how close-minded. You know, the Christians would never read about Islam, or they all they know is the Bible. And the Islamists, you know, if you would talk about other symbols, that would be, you know, same, blasphemy, or that would be forbidden and things. When in fact, there was no encyclopedia of world cultural and religious symbols. So I decided to write one. So I wrote that, which is a compendium of symbols from all around the world. You have hieroglyphs, you have theories like the power of myth, the monomyth by Joseph Campbell, the hero's journey, the refusal of the call, the allies that come in the road. And isn't it funny how I love how sometimes you meet new people you didn't even know existed, and they show up like, oh my God, like I find this so exciting because you feel like, where are your people? Where are your people that will show up for you, that will actually want to be a part of and work together or understand you? Just, it's always the same cycle on repeat, and giving chances to new people who just end up doing the same thing that everybody else does. And it's just frustrating, and it makes you want to give up on humanity a little bit and turn it to hate. And in fact, God, destiny, has it all tied up together already. Like, they say you haven't met the people that will love you yet, or your best time hasn't come. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, my best time is never coming. And all of a sudden, you keep doing your work, diligently. You're maybe like, oh, I've been doing this job for so long. Oh, I've been a teacher. I'm tired of being a teacher. I want to do something else. Oh, I'm tired of, writing this book and nobody publishing it, blah, blah, blah. Like it's, I don't know, for people who like to have like a full life with different topics of conversations, different activities and disciplines and things like this, it can be boring. But then as you keep doing your work, just before you're about to give up, you got new people coming in, in your hero's journey to continue. And some people stay, and some people were just, a passage in the journey, and some people just stay with you, and you end up creating a new destiny, a new timeline. So this is very, very exciting, very inspiring. This is my religion, like human connection and the superpowers that we develop just by connecting towards each other. This is the divine spark, when there is this chemistry and what humanity is able to do. So it's good to pray God and like, I don't know, hate on human and pray God the Almighty. But in fact, when you realize that we're all a part of God and that we are able to create those divine powers, and by allying together and connecting together, this is how you unleash the chemistry. Now what, this is magical. Then it makes you want to become a part of a society and community and work and keep working for it and making the efforts, like wearing a jacket. They're like, oh, you're not wearing a jacket. It's like, why am I going to wear a jacket? I'm in the middle of the mountain. I've been talking to my phone alone for 10 years. So yes, I appreciate you guys, worrying about, is she able to talk on camera? Is she able to talk fast? Is she always high? Can she dress up? If you give me the opportunity, I will, work hard to prepare my lesson plan, my speech, and rehearse and dress up. So yes, that's all. That's a whole cultural thing. You have my Metatron Cube series here. So the Metatron's Cube is super interesting. It talks about like different stages of the flower of life when you have just a circle, which is like the base of like the seed of an idea, the people, your niche, the people you're going to be talking to. Then the flower of life expands. This is the flower of life right here, where like the mitosis, the project takes form, it's becoming real, you're creating it, you're building the foundation, you're writing the book, you're making the article. And then you have the fruit of life. The fruit of life is when you start collecting the fruits of your labor. And then you have the Metatron's Cube, which is all the circles connected. So then this is when you start networking, promoting your project, putting it out there, expanding towards other people. So the flower of life is really, really cool, having those symbols in an office or a home. always a good energy to get inspired from, and even working on your subliminal mind. Okay, so here, this, for example, super interesting, the Hebrew characters. In fact, did you know that? This is something that's super interesting. The Hebrew characters are based on the Star of David. Isn't it cool? Isn't it crazy? So you see how everything comes from the language, from the symbols. That was actually the first language of humanity, was drawing. They were drawing on cave walls. Okay, even before they could speak, because they were showing what they see. So those people that are ancestral, Israel, you know, like Hebrew or Christianity or Egyptians, studying like their letters, their language tells a lot about their culture. Okay, so yes, so once again, you can see that the letters are embedded in the Merkaba. The Egyptians, they were preparing their tombs, their graveyards, like their tomb, how do you call it? Their chambers and everything. They're coding it with hieroglyphs. Once again, all these magical civilizations that we still don't know with our technology how they built. Their structures that still last to this day, they were all using symbols. So that's why I'm passionate about it. And now, see, dragons, how many times I've been painting something and then I've seen it in the sky right away. Dragons. You know, you can take my word for it, or you can open your eyes and see how it's actually happening. Once it happens to you, after that, like, you can only be convinced and be like, oh my God, how do we master this? How do we use it every day, you know, to do better in the world? So very, very exciting. Okay, the second part of the book as well, I'll show you a few of the symbols. This is the emerald tablets. And once again, you see I refer a lot to Egyptians, but also to Incas, and you know what, that's crazy, because I'm like telling those stories to my friends who are supposedly like conspiracy theories and aliens and things, right? But as long as this doesn't come from you, like, they will hear anything from a conspiracy website that they don't know where it comes from, but their best friend that they've known all their lives is telling them like real story with real pictures and proven things, they will still not believe you. This is why you can't. Your friends, I think it's Trent Shelton who was saying that your friends will never see you like a successful person if you've grown together in the middle class, if you've grown together in areas where we don't have a lot of opportunities and things like this, and you're trying to make your way, your path through that and go in higher levels. They will never see you like that. They will accept that you get back to the lowest point. They will accept that you lose everything. They will accept that you get back to a shitty job you don't care about. But they will never accept the possibility that you're actually way up there doing amazing things, you know, supernatural things. They will say it makes no sense. That drives me crazy. So this is why, guys, you have to surround yourself with new people. You create new circles with what you want to believe. Because if you feel like there is more, if you believe there is more, maybe it's because there is more. Okay, so that's what I've been doing my entire life. I left here when I was really young. I left my home at 18 to study. Then I went to England. I didn't want to be around people who want me to stay where I was born, or just in the same patterns that my family evolved. You know, I wanted to break those patterns, those transgenerational memories, those preconceptions. That's why I love America, because in America everything is possible. You know, they're like hard work, yes, maybe too much. Yeah, hard work. We get to enjoy life a little bit, but they're go-getters, and when they find people, they want them to be part of the community. They're like, okay, but you got to put in the work. It's not going to be a given. They want to prove your trust. They want to prove that you can do the thing, that you are putting in the effort, that you have the discipline, the consistency, all of that the French people don't want. Like, it's crazy. They complain about everything. You're like, well, you did that. So if you did this and this, wait, it's gonna work. Yeah, of course it's not gonna work. Like, so pessimistic, so, oh my God, I prefer 100 times looking stupid. Like, I've been looking stupid so many times. It's like actually my specialty, being like a clown of the internet, believing, I'm gonna get married to this amazing guy, believing I'm gonna get this awesome job, believing that someone will show up for me, and then maybe it's not happening and I look stupid again. I prefer 100 times to be like this and get excited every time, and give a new chance to love, and give a new chance to, something than being rigid in the things that people have decided for you, or and because one day it's gonna work, and this is also part of the mission. This is a part of the mission. I literally went to the complete opposite society to what I believe in, the Pachamama, the shamanism, and all this thing, even though I'm not at all, I don't consider myself like the spiritual. I think yoga is boring, more meditation, I fall asleep. I go drink and party, like I'm a bad girl. It's nothing like stereotypical, but I also care for the planet. I know how many spirits, guardians, like magical things that are around me, getting me on this journey, and this is why I went there, where the pollution. A perfect example, Elon Musk. I love Elon Musk. I admire him. He is like the top genius in the world. He's taking humanity to space, things that NASA have struggled to do, for 50 years. This guy, NASA what's going on with NASA? They're not doing anything. But this is why I was after Elon Musk for so long, trying to sell him my anti-gravity formula, because they're gonna launch 1,000 rockets a day, like by 2030. Imagine the pollution. So you have to look at technology and what's good for it, but you also have to anticipate, before you go in the wrong direction and start building a technology that in the long run is gonna be detrimental, to the planet. You have to anticipate and start going maybe in the right direction. So that's the mission, guys. It's like working with Christian conservatives on a Republican network. It's literally like, I'm not gonna say the opposite, because actually I don't belong to a party. I don't belong to a religion. I'm open to every single perspective. That's why I agree with them when they say, the Muslims are the ones who always conduct terrorist attacks and stuff. Well, man, it's true. Like, my best friend is a Muslim. I've been living in Bahrain for so long. People were adorable, really. I've never been disrespected more by Americans than I have in Bahrain by Muslim people. So I have nothing absolutely against Muslim communities, but what he says at the same time, it's true. Where you have the most extremist groups, terrorists, and everything is in the Muslim communities, because their religion is so close-minded. Everything else is an attack. And why is that? Because what we say, it's easier to be fooled than to admit that you've been fooled. People will not accept that everything they've built their beliefs on, they're programmed themselves all their lives to believe something, that for them, if you come and contradict that, is an attack on their own being, their own personality that they've built, their own pillars, everything they build their foundations, their life on, is jeopardized if you're questioning their beliefs. That's why people, they get so mad. I've had one of my best friend who is a Christian. One day we talked about Jesus, and I don't know what I said. She said something, like a verse. And I said, yeah, that's true, but you can read it differently also. Like, you can read it also like that. And like, she was like, have a good day. And she left, and she left, and she didn't call me for like a month. She was offended. Crazy. I was like, okay, that's the topic we can never talk about again. So yeah, guys, so this is also part of the mission to continue, and even through the rejections, even I knew it wasn't going to be easy to convince the people. You know, it's easier to convince people that are already convinced, that are already open-minded, that are already looking for truth, who want to learn new information, and than people who believe they're always right. And these are the hardest people to convince and to change. And you don't need to change, but just at least expand your mind a little bit to see different aspects of the truth. Okay, so in this book you have crop circles, you have like angels and a diamond. Look at this one. It says, value your self-worth. You are God's precious gem. That's cool. Yes. Kim Kardashian, of course, she's been here all along the journey. New Year goals. So this is, you know, a compendium of all the people who inspire. That's my mentor, Dinger Sozi. You have his book right there behind me, The Underdog Advantage. Yeah, and it's really funny because the people that I meet we always have like kind of the same story, the same things that happen. What can I show you? I have here, you know, beginning of articles about Putin, the Blue Angels that I love, the Thunderbirds. I love everything that is excellence, demonstration, and I love the shows, people who can put on a show. Like, I'm a big fan of the journalists, you guys, Carl Higby, Rob Finnerty, you know, the Right Squad, like all these people who like nail it in front of cameras, who get people excited, show how it is to be like looking sharp and be smart, but also can be fun, and care, be open-minded. Like, you guys are role models just by being. This is why I'm such a fan. I'm just like a fan, guys. I'm a fan of excellence, you know. And isn't it cool? Don't you want to have more people that get excited and they be like, oh my god, I want to do that too, I want to be great. Everything else is better in France. The food is better, the villages are better, the view is better, everything is more beautiful in France. The beach, everything is better in France, except the French. The French mentality is horrible. They're complaining all the time, but everyone, it's crazy. They're just complaining all the time. It's like no grit to go through and create something new or trying to change society. Or, you know, they complain to the government. I'm like, okay, then go work at the government, so then you can change it if you don't like it. Oh, it's impossible, there's no way, no. But why don't you go and work in a little local organization that writes article about corruption? Like, no, I see bigger than go in my little local association. You know, I want to go to New York City or Washington or do the things that are going to impact a lot of the people in the entire world. And they don't see big there. But oh, my mom, my dad, my friends, like everybody, I don't see anyone happy. Like, it's crazy. I'm like, I lost everything. I'm broke. Lost my son. I'm a fucking waitress. And I'm more positive and enthusiastic and loving life than anyone else here that has it all set up. They're always there. They're beloved. They have a job. They're making like money. They have their kids, their dog, their grandpa, grandma. Like, they're still complaining about everything. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with them? It's crazy. But anyways, this is because of you guys. You guys. You have this one at school here about, you know, the chakras. Like the Christed Consciousness, the Intergalactic Gateway, the Stellar Gateway, the Soul Star, the Earth Star, the Dolphin Matrix, the Inner Earth Cities, the Whale Matrix, understanding, you know, where am I? Here. Understanding like the energy centers. And this is also a great one. This is what I used to create my Ministry of Sound anti-gravity formula. These are the ninja chakras. That's not real. That's from Naruto. You know the Japanese show Naruto? Somewhat, I haven't watched the show. I just found, I was looking for chakras in Chinese culture or Japanese culture or like Asian, different perspectives of the chakras than India, because chakras from India. And I found the chakras as seen in Naruto, and they look at it like a network of chakras instead of us who we see them like linear, you know, the crown chakra, throat chakra, heart chakra and stuff. They see it like as networks through the elements. So that speaks a lot to me, because mostly nowadays with the Wi-Fi, you know, we're always connected with those antennas, with those Wi-Fi, wireless frequencies and things like this. And this actually connects us. All these invisible lines that connect through us, they actually connect us. So we have a lot more telepathy. We can amplify, you know, the energies so well. So I love that. And this is what my system for the anti-gravity aircraft, like formula thing, it's a wall. The technology is in the walls of the aircrafts. It's implanted, like, you know, the rooftops integrated with solar panels. It's basically that. Okay, so the steel of the aircraft is integrated with quartz crystals, obsidian crystals. It's steel and minerals. It's super simple. And then it's amplified by temperature. It's amplified by acoustic frequencies to generate propulsions. This is super powerful. Like, I see it so clear in my mind, and this is very simple. Just like it looks so simple to remove a sword from a rock, right? And shake the entire earth. Looks simple, because in fact, once you learn to master the energies, you realize that everything is possible. It's just because we don't know how to master it yet. Passionating. So the Pachamama Art Encyclopedia, Volume 2, you can download, and the Volume 1 as well, guys, on my website, pachamamaart.org. / the Pachamama Art Encyclopedia or the Disclosure book. You have the links right here. And thanks, Finn. Now we have a new guest who is here to send a special message to the US government for America's 250th anniversary. Welcome for a new episode of the Finnanigans show. So today I want to send a big shout out to our government, to all the team that is working to make this government work, whether government officials or journalists. So it's going to be a lot of shout outs today, because I am so sick of this little war between the Democrats and the Republicans. I had lots of conversations about this in the airplane to explain to people who maybe are disappointed with, you know, the government, or the fact that, you know, the middle class and the poor people are feeling kind of left out with the inflation and everything. And I'm trying to explain to them that instead of sabotaging the work of each other and starting over every 4 years, we have to help the government and contribute so we all go in the same direction. So right now we have angels literally infiltrated in the government that are doing such an amazing work. So let's start with Pete Hegseth, our amazing Secretary of War, a saint. This is beyond words how much I admire this man. Restoring strength in America with just the right amount of charisma and lethality. So well done, Jen. But yes, this man is so good. He would sell war to peace, so thank you for all the beautiful prayers, the support to the people, your commitment in every single branch, of the military, but also of society. Marco Rubio, a little gangster thug who is adamant to his faith, but can we blame him though? He's so blessed by life and all the success he's known, through his dedication and his commitment, coming from an immigrant family and rising all the way up to the government. So I'm really asking President Trump to help him rise with him and to think about the long-term legacy that we are leaving, not just about the government now, but help these people rise and continue for the next political campaign. And our actions right now or inaction regarding, for example, what's going on in Israel has an impact on the reputation of the people who work with us. So I'm really asking President Trump to listen to the team of experts that we're all here to help, and even to sacrifice to make a difference in this world, but to go in the right direction and to show the example. So Cash Patel and Todd Blanche, one of the good ones, the good men who work every day to protect us and to make it fun also and intelligent. So this is really appreciated, all the work that we're doing with the FBI all around the year, the beautiful logos that they publish all the time to make this work interesting and also to restore trust, with public institutions. Now, Caroline Leavitt and Robert Kennedy, the Secretary of Health. One is an unconditional, loyal admirer of President Trump, and the other one campaigned against Trump. But they allied, they joined forces, to make this government even more efficient. So this is one of the strengths of President Trump. He's been smart enough to bring everyone together. So let's continue in this direction. Now, the journalists, mostly the NEWSMAX team. Amazing people, wild souls with pure hearts, and I really love that. You're making the news fun every day. I love when Finn goes and Simone's dark fountains, to restore the order a little bit, because we're so sick of this game that's been going on. Really, Carl, who's always having the word to make America laugh again, because fun doesn't mean fake, and honestly people should chill out a little bit and take life more cheerfully. So this is a really cool network to work with. I really want to help you, work with you, bring back the Democrats and the Republicans together, so we just keep those same amazing people to work and continue, instead of having this little battle, all the elites who work together, but this is the mass, the voters that we need to convince. So that is my offer, guys. If you want me to work with you, have a rubric maybe once a week or every day, whatever, 5 minutes, every day, 10 minutes, make a little episode or a bigger episode every weekend. I'm just happy to do that for you. Also all the cute couples, adorable, really. I love NEWSMAX. You guys, went to interview Netanyahu, like literally evil on earth. He really has proven that one man can mess up the entire world, but we're gonna prove that we can do that too. So let's stay united, and remember, we say that a man is the average of the 5 or 10 people that he hangs out with. So keep surrounding yourself with amazing people, so we can make the whole world like this, and that it will ripple to continue the legacy. Alright? So from one day to day one, and from day one to done, and from done to legion, we are really restoring optimism about the future, and God knows humanity needs it. So today I want to read, before I go, I want to draw a little card from the Gateway of Light Activation Oracle from Kyle Gray. It's really so cool, since we have the beautiful Mediterranean Sea behind us. You guys, This has been in boxes for so long. I'm gonna pull 3 cards. Merkaba activation. Transcendence, ascension, you are rising up. See, we were just talking about Israel, so it's funny that there's a star that's coming out. So, my vote is to return this guy to his etherical state so he can deal with God directly instead of putting the mess all around the earth. Look how beautiful. You know, I always say, someone's karma and his pact with God or the devil or whatever, that's his karma. Our inaction, that's our karma. Ancestral realm, karmic release, healing the lineage and boundaries. Wow, exactly that. You know how I always say that Netanyahu is the reincarnation of Hitler? And that he has a karma, he's actually fixing a karma. And this is what's going on. He's healing, you know, the lineage of the Jews, he's avenging, you know, the story of the Nazis and stuff, but there's boundaries. There's boundaries. What he's doing is just not right, and we need to stop it. This is unacceptable that a country like America is associated with that. Akashic records, clearing old stories, releasing past life, and freedom. The karmas are released now. It's time to move on. Clearing the old stories. We don't need to repeat history all the time. So, did you know you were a master time traveler, or did you just make that up and nail it from day one and now you have a legion? Like, literally epic. So, I've been thinking a lot lately, like a lot, about all the elemental circumstances. Like right now it's sunny over me, but it's pouring rain on my car. There has been lightnings in Paris, earthquake in Venezuela. I mean, storms and rainbows, like time traveling experiences that I'm going back to some videos from 3 years ago where I'm saying that I feel like I'm time traveling and some people talking. And now I'm starting to put some pieces together and like, wow, how life in the network just ties itself up beyond what you can even perceive yet. That's crazy. So wow, yeah, definitely mind-boggling. I'm thinking about it all the time. Wow. Of a very relaxed episode today where I want to comment on the plot twist that just happens, like incredible elemental events, synchronicities, like time travel things. Wow, this is disturbing. I've been thinking about it every day. So I'm gonna be grilling on the beach today, writing about it. And yes, your article is coming, guys. Oh my god, I have to say, I kind of like to feel like I'm being watched by the sharks. You guys are so amazing. So yes, if there is an opportunity for me to join you in New York City, be a part of your team at NEWSMAX, I'd say yes today, yes every day. I want to bring in my files, my documents, present my book. We can do interviews or tell some stories that are going to help convert or expand minds, you know, about religions, like many of your interviewers are doing, like Rob and Carl. It's amazing. I hope you like the paintings. You know, I always I noticed that I didn't paint a lot of Christian crosses. It's not that I'm an anti-Christian at all. I respect all the religions. It's just the cross for me. It's just a symbol, you know, of like suffering and how people just watched, you know, the suffering of Jesus. And for me, it's like a public murder that everybody's cheering on. So, you know, I like the Chacana, which has more levels and depth and connection to the elements and to the earth and nature and our superpowers. Like you can tell, wow, incredible. So yes, guys, I'm working on these new episodes today. I'm working on your article, but you know what? In fact, I will make you a new video, of course, with the special file and everything, but you can look at what I've done for all the organizations that I applied to. Every time I apply to the UNESCO, I would make them like a full-on, you know, 5 years plan, projection, studying the company, promoting the people and everything. So this is what I like to do, I love to do, I want to do full-time. And if I do win a Nobel Prize in October, then I'll be more prepared, you know, speaking in public audience and sharing the content. So yes, it's very, very exciting. I think about it all the time. Yeah, wow, it took me a few days to process, guys. An earthquake, like a freaking earthquake. Oh my god. The lightnings, that's crazy. It's crazy. Time travel. So yeah, I'm making a file on NEWSMAX, guys, like classified information. Crazy. All right, have a good day, everybody. So it's hot here. It's really, really hot. Really. It's crazy how one day you wake up and meet people you didn't even know existed, and suddenly you have like a new family. It's beautiful. I love it. Hi, I'm the new lady from the Weather Channel. I'm a dirty, bad environmentalist. You should come and rescue me from lunatism. Okay, I'm watching your shows, guys. I'm cracked up on the floor laughing. Like, I haven't laughed like this for so long. This is so poetic. Literally, you guys are poets, entertainers, like badass logos everywhere. I love it. So I was talking to my friend Alice, and she was so beautifully explaining, you know, my search for a job and everything. And she said, yes, all the network, the visibility, it's amazing, the recognition, but you need to find like that niche where they're gonna actually take the step, the action to trust you and open the door so you guys can work together and accomplish, you know, all the projects you've been working on and make it public. And it's true, guys. It's American here. American. My heart is American, guys. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Today we talked about empowerment, we talked about religion, we talked about America's 250. Tell me what you think in the comments.